So now it is the 4th of July weekend. Let's talk about that first. Obviously and clearly, it has been a tremendous celebration. It is the 250th anniversary or birthday of our country, and it looks like she's celebrating right there. And we like to see it. We like to see it. So, guys, what do you guys think? We'll have that in the background. What do you guys think about America being 250 years old, and anything you got in your mind about America and the 4th of July? Wow, she has a very nice view back there.
Can you pick what's where that view's from?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the water. That's all. It's just
Yeah.
beachfront boat, something. It's very beautiful.
So what was the question again? I got distracted.
Well, we're just watching the flag wave here, guys. Oh my goodness, look at that flag. What are your thoughts about us?
Oddly.
What are your thoughts about us turning 250? America's, 4th of July, America period. What do you think?
I was a good it was a good party, I guess. I watched there was a video Elon put on would have been yesterday, obviously, where it's like an AI video of like this woman going through like the times, and then like the lyrics of the song. It's like, we've only had 250 summers, and if you think about that, that's just mind-boggling. Like, there's only been 250 summers in this whole country. And heck, I've seen 37 of them. So it's pretty crazy.
I think it was great, man. I agree that AI video was good. I think Jor had it on his stream that day. Yeah, and I rewatched it a couple times. It was really good. And then Jerry, I think later in the day, he did a different one, Jerry, that was really done well too. That one was actually shorter. I think that was a minute long. That one was really good. In regards to 4th of July in itself, I thought the firework display was amazing. It was a 280 munitions compared to last year's 28,000. So it was substantially more. I thought it was done really well. I thought it was very patriotic. It was very professional, very respectable. So it was fun watching that. We watched the fireworks show with the kids in our front lawn, which was cool from our place. It really makes you understand and step back. And you couldn't help but feel proud. You couldn't help but feel patriotic. You couldn't help but feel good. Now, at the same time, we have a lot to work on in our country, whether that be at home or overseas. I'd like to see more stuff at home being done personally. But at the end of the day, it's, being a well-oiled machine for the most part, we have to kind of touch on all fronts. So, I would love to be around for another 50. I don't know if that's going to happen, but my kids will be around for another 50 to see the 300. I just, as good of a day and as good as it made us all feel, we also can't help but step back and just be like, you know what? Be grateful for what we have. Be grateful for what these men and women fought for. But I think we also need to do our part. And I think there's times where we needed to step up ourselves in ways as simple as going out and voting. I mean, that is literally the bare minimum as far as I'm concerned. That's the most minimal amount of effort, is getting out there and casting your vote. And some people say, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't count, this and that. I beg to differ. I feel like that's the position they want to put us in, is to feel like it doesn't matter, and then thus we don't go out and vote, and then that's where we get put in the positions we're in. So all in all, I'm feeling really optimistic about everything. And, I'm happy to have this commander-in-chief in office.
Well said, fellas. I'm in a similar boat. I agree with everything you guys just. And I am a person that is obviously very patriotic. I love the country. And this was a time for me to really reflect on our history and where we come from, because basically it's our birthday, right? And what you do is when you celebrate your birthday, it's a thing where, you're in you're in your mom's stomach. You get, your parents have sex. You're there for 9 months, and then that day you come out. You're out here in the world, and you're born, and you celebrate that on a yearly basis. Well, that's what happened with America. It was a lot longer than 9 months. It was many, many years of going through a lot of tyranny and stuff like that. But they made a bold statement, a bold thought, and a bold move by saying they don't want to do this anymore. Even though everybody around the world is, being ruled by monarchs, they said they decided that they want to go with God. And your inalienable rights of a human being should not be, um, dare I say, controlled by a person that was born into a family of kings and monarchs and stuff like that. So they said, our values don't align with this anymore. And so we had a few battles, not a full out war, but we were battling. We started April 19th, 1775 with the first shot, and the shot heard around the world with, Lexington and Concord. And then we had little more battles and little more battles, but nothing was official yet. We just had a bunch of battles. And then we said, well, Thomas Paine, he wrote the Common Sense pamphlet, and he signed it as an Englishman, like a pseudonym name, like Satoshi Nakamoto, and he put this pamphlet out. And basically, all he did was he collected his thoughts and everybody's on the bully pulpits and people that knew what was going on's thoughts of what this king and what was all about. Most people were afraid of um, the backlash or what would happen if you spoke out against the king, because the king back then had loyalists and spies everywhere in our 13 colonies. And so people wouldn't say certain things because we all knew there were spies. So what happened is he wrote that Common Sense book, and it woke up a lot of people during the initial battles of Great Britain versus the 13 colonies. And so when we brought them boys back up to Philadelphia, we had 5 of them, and they wrote the Declaration of Independence. They had to vote on it first and say, okay, we have to be 100% on board with this. All 13 colonies have to say, yay, not nay, not one nay, not two nay, 13 yays out of the 50, the 55 delegates out of the 13 colonies had to say, okay, yay, we're doing this. Because if one person said no, we all know that the spies in Great Britain's or King George's grasp would have said, okay, we got a breach in the hole. Let's use him as a turncoat, and we'll turn him against the other 12 or whatever. So we had to make sure everything was on board. And once we did that, we wrote the Declaration of Independence. And on July 2nd, 1776, we voted for it, and it went officially like, okay, now we're declaring our independence. And then the 4th of July marked the Declaration of Independence document that was officially sealed, signed by the 56 men, and it was read throughout the colonies. So that's when everything started. And once King George saw that, then it's like, okay, there's no turning back. Because the Declaration of Independence is basically saying, hey, we're breaking up with you, King George. We're not saying anything bad in the first sentence, and we're going to tell you why. And then it listed 27 reasons why. And then it wrapped it up with basically, hey, we're here as human beings of God. And when you look at today's climate in America, even though it's only a document or it's a piece of paper, men have to back it up. That's kind of under attack right now with the communism stuff. And so now we're like, okay, we have an inter battle with literally communists through the Democrat Party, Socialists of America are saying, hey, we want to do what USSR did. And we said, no. And it makes you say, man, let me study the history of our country, the 250 years, how it started and why we're here today. And we are a great idea here in America. And I absolutely love this idea. And we're still an experiment, and we're working on that experiment. But one thing we'll never do, and President Trump eloquently said on July 3rd, the other day at at where is it at with the four guys? Mount Everest? No, not Mount Everest.
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. He said we will not be taken over by communists. This country will not be led by communists or taken over by communists. And so we have to understand that America is under attack when it comes to our ideals, and we have to hold on to those. And what it means to me is, even though, again, I said this in the background before you guys got here, that America has its faults, and we talked about going to Thailand and everything else. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to go to Thailand without the finances of America and America's dollars. I'm not going to go to Thailand or a second world or a third world, even another first world country without the dollars and the backing of my country. And I would never give up my citizenship ever. So again, America is number one. We have our faults, but for me personally, I couldn't be more prouder to be an American.